All right, so in this step, we're going to work on the locomotive grill and rivet the batten strips. And both of those steps are take a little bit of patience, and mainly the main thing about both of those steps is that you want to get them fairly precise. And when I'm doing this in my drawings that I do for making posters and in the studio, I even do this at a much slower pace so that the grills and the rivets are quite a bit more precise. Whereas this is just a demonstration. And I encourage you at home to because you really want the grills to be evenly spaced. You want the rivets to be evenly spaced. As I've said now several times, the rivets, a big thing about rivets is I don't really encourage, same thing with stripes in painting engines. I don't really encourage, in almost all cases, that you don't count the rivets or count, especially when it gets to be more than like 5 or 6 stripes. I don't encourage that you count the stripes or count rivets. It's much more that you keep them straight and you keep them even. And actually, a lot of times if you start counting like 32 rivets and try to keep them even, I've found through the years that in trying to do that, it's almost impossible to keep 32 rivets even if at the same time you're trying to count them. And by far, from the distance when you look at it, you're much, much better off. So there's these just vertical lines making the grill. As I said, take your time with those. And same with these rivets. I'm doing this probably at least 3 or more times faster than I do them when I'm drawing the trains I use for posters. But as I like to say, it would almost be like watching paint dry. And at times when I am doing the painting, it literally would be like watching paint dry. And again, if you're a fan of Wabash, remember to hit like on this video and let me know railroads you like to see and locomotives you want to see me do drawing demonstrations of in the comments. We actually still have to do this one more row of rivets. You can see F units actually have a lot of rivets. As I've mentioned before, older box cars have a lot of rivets. And as I've also said before, actually a slightly duller pencil versus a sharper pencil is a pretty good tool for this, because a sharp pencil, the point will just break right off. And then the dust of it kind of goes, you know, onto the, and that's really the last thing you want. You want it to be just sharp enough that as you do the rivets, you can do the rest of the drawing that you're doing too. You don't want it to be so dull that, and at times I even will keep a second pencil that is kind of my riveting pencil and then a sharper pencil. It's kind of up to you what you want to do. Okay, so we have a few of these. Roof. Again, this will have more rivets. This is pretty much the last of the rivets. There. They're actually go. There's actually one more here as because we might as well actually do this pilot here. There we go. Because this kind of makes it so that we can kind of get the engine basically ready. And then there's just the tiniest bit more rivets. There we go. All right. Why don't we put the coupler in too? As we put that coupler in, let's put the back coupler in. Okay, so now we'll be ready to draw the locomotive trucks.